So this is going to be a spoiler-free review for the first half. The second half, however, I might say some things that might spoil it a little bit for you, so I will give a clear warning for whenever the spoilers come, but the first half of this review is going to be no spoilers, and it's just going to be my review on whether or not I think that you should go see this movie or not as the average movie connoisseur. So I watched it in Cinemark's D-box type of environment where the seats like shake and they go back and forth and left and right. And it was I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen a movie in that environment, and I was a little worried about whether or not I'd enjoy it or not. The whole reason why I watched it in that environment was because this movie was sold out for the regular showing. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. This movie must be really popular. Or perhaps it's just a Friday night there where I'm going to the movies and a lot of people want to get out. However, it was sold out for the showing that I wanted to go to. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try something new. And you know what? I'm really glad that I did. This movie is action packed. Kept me on the edge of my seat for the most part. For the most part. There was, the second I sat down, 60 seconds in, you're thrown right into the action. That caught me well off guard. I wasn't expecting to just be on the edge of my seat right from the get-go. But it kind of got old. There's only so many tornadoes that I can see and look at before I'm like, okay, can we can we do something different? And they did. They changed it up a little bit, and they gave us some storyline, and they kind of moved the story around in different directions, and I was kind of like, oh, what's going on? But the redeeming factor of this film is that even though the storyline was a little mid to me, I really do feel like the action, the cinematography, and just the suspense of this film really makes up for anything that the story lacks. I remember there being like a 30-minute section in the film where I'm just sitting there like, okay, all right. And then it just like diverts the plot and like goes on like this side quest and then gets right back on the plot. And I'm just sat there like, what did this accomplish? Like, how long was this movie? Hold on. I gotta look and see how long this movie was really quickly. Twister's length. This movie was an hour and 53 minutes. They could have done, and whenever you go watch this film, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It could have done without this. It probably would have made the film a little bit shorter as well. I think 2 hours for a film is a little excessive in today's day and age, but I'm not going to let that distract me from the overall aspect of this film, which was really good. And, for the average moviegoer, I think that you're going to love this film. I think you're going to sit there and be like, oh, wow, this is a really nice film. It's different from seeing the 75th version of Spider-Man, and it's not something in the 28th Despicable Me movie. It's something different. It's something fun. It's something that you can take the family out and go watch and have a good time. And so I think the average movie connoisseur is going to like this. If you're a movie fanboy and you go see every movie in theaters, maybe you might not really get much value out of this. It's fun. That's it. You're not going to leave the theater thinking, oh man, this was it. This was the movie. Because it just doesn't have that vibe to it. It has more of a outing with the family. Go watch something fun and suspenseful, and you go home thinking, that was a really great movie. It's not something where I just write home about personally, though. Okay. I'm going to talk about some other things in the movie that might spoil it for some. I'm not going to give away the ending or anything like that, but if you're wanting more of an experience to where you don't know exactly what's going to happen, maybe this is the point to turn this review off. So, this is the spoilers part, so if you're not into the spoilers, just go ahead and check out. Alright. What about this film did I not like? The main actress, Kate, I think her name was, that was an interesting performance by her. I wasn't very impressed with it. She has this, traumatic experience in the beginning of the film, and she goes to New York to, I guess, recreate herself. She's in that environment for like 20 seconds, and then she's yanked out of it by this old college friend who's like, come on, we gotta go chase tornadoes again, da-da-da-da-da. And she just sits there, and she's like, man, I don't know if I want to chase tornadoes again. And then 45 seconds later, she has this epiphany, and she's gonna go chase tornadoes again. Literally, I could probably time it. It was like 45 seconds to 2 minutes. She changes her mind. It's like no type of. It's crazy. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a pass. They're trying to, this isn't this movie where they're having this giant storyline and amazing plot, and that's what the whole, backbone of this movie is. It's the elements and it's the suspense. So, I'll give it a pass. But then they do it again. Then later on in the movie, she's presented with another choice of being reminded of her traumatic past. And she has this option to pursue this one option versus this other option. And she's just like, no, that was the old me, da da da. Bye. And leaves. Just for, set the timer again, 45 seconds later, let's do it. And is like the biggest advocate for it. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, Jesus. Like, I know that maybe storytelling isn't maybe the strong suit of this film, but to do the same thing twice, I give you the pass once. But this whole thing of her being like, I'm not going to do that, and then being the biggest advocate for it, and then I'm like, okay, pass. And this moment was in this lull, this detour that I was talking about. And she sits there, I'm not going to do that. And then 30 seconds later, she's the biggest advocate for it, and she's just like, team XYZ. I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. I'm going to try my best to stay away from that. And so that's my complaint about this film. That's pretty much it, though. I was really impressed with how much suspense was in this film. And I mean, like, I just remember in the first part of the film where they're chasing these tornadoes for this science experiment to get this big grant. And spoiler alert right here, everyone just gets ripped into the tornado except for her and her college buddy. And I'm just sitting there like, that's crazy that we're 60 seconds, 2 minutes into this film, and they just killed off virtually everyone that we know in the film. But, as you progress through the film, you realize that that's not the main plot, or at least it seems like that before they go all over the place with the story. But for the most part, what's my rating for this film? I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. The visuals were great. The atmosphere is good. I feel like if you're just the average moviegoer and maybe you see like 3 to 5 films a year, you probably think this is like a 3.5, 3 3/4. But for me, going to pretty much almost every movie that I can go to see, this is one that I'm going to forget about in 2 weeks. I'm going to forget all about this one, and it was a fun experience. Not every movie can just be the best movie in the world, but it was a fun night out. That's what I'm chalking this one up to. So, 3 out of 5 stars. That's my review. So let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion. Yeah, I'll see y'all next time.